Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. It's your girl Sam here, life insurance agent, and I am so excited to be here in 2023. I don't know about you, but 2022, excuse me, was a rough year for me. But despite all of the bad things that have happened, when I look back over it, all of my good days outweigh my bad days, so therefore I won't complain. So tonight's webinar is all about helping you to jumpstart your finances in 2022. And I picked tonight because it is the first Monday of the 2023. And a lot of people have, I don't know what it is, but it's just like this spark of motivation and discipline you have whenever the new year comes around. And I decided that I wanted to maximize on that and get more people involved in taking control of their finances for 2023. Because, like, I don't know about you, but this year is going to be a year that I declare and I proclaim that it's going to be a life-changing year in my finances for my family. My goal is to acquire more assets, and I want you on that journey with me as well, changing the trajectory of your family's legacy. So without further ado, we're going to get started with tonight's presentation, and I'm going to bring it up on the stage. So, 7 ways to jumpstart your finances in 2023. So, before we begin tonight's presentation, I just want to drop a disclaimer. This presentation tonight is for educational and informational purposes. That means nothing I say is to be taken as personalized individual financial advice. If you want to have a one-on-one or have a different conversation about what pertains to you personally, you can hit me up. If I am unable to assist you in any way, it means I have a network of people that can help you on your journey. So without further ado, let's let the show continue. So, who am I? I am Sam, the life insurance agent. I am also the CEO of SM Planning LLC, which is a financial education platform in which I help people build a financial foundation through proper budgeting, saving and debt repayment strategies, credit maintenance, and most importantly, risk management through proper insurance products. So tonight's presentation is all about 7 ways that I've found that have worked for me and I have studied to help you jumpstart your finances in 2023. So let's the show continue. So, like I said, today is all about taking charge of your finances in 2023. You see, when it comes to personal finance, many people struggle with it for many reasons. I know I struggled with it before. We say, oh, we were never taught, or I don't have the capital, I don't have the resources to do this. But to be quite honest with you, personal finance is not a hard thing at all. The hardest thing about personal finance and taking control of it is you execute it. Because when you think about it, the formula is simple. Save more than you spend, invest more than you save, and then continue from there. But what happens to most people is we get caught up in what other people have, what we didn't have, what we didn't learn. But if we stop and take each step from our own personal experience, we will be surprised to find out what we're able to do. There's this magical thing called compound interest. And it doesn't just work with money, it works with everything in life. If you just declare to get better 1% each day, you would be shocked to see the progress you have made. So as 2022 just comes in, we're on our second day, I challenge you to start thinking about getting better with your finances 1% each day at a time. And you will be surprised to see the progress you can make. But before we get into tonight's presentation, I got to give you a little backstory and what's happening right now, a little current news event. So right now, a lot of people are still feeling the aftermath of COVID, the pandemic. A lot of people are still, struggling to get back. There are still some businesses, some people who are not yet fully recovered from what happened 2 years ago, which brought on last year's inflation, was one of the reasons, and not the big reason for the inflation hikes we had last year. But a lot of it attributes to the mass amount of money that was given out from the government to help, businesses get back on their feet, to help people just do the necessity of putting food and shelter, for their family. We have talks of a recession. We have a lot of financial analysts that are saying that, some are saying that we're not in a recession. They changed the meaning of it, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. Some saying that a recession is coming, and some are saying that a recession is here. Now, whether you are feeling either one of those, there are changes that need to be made. While our household income has increased, our cost of living, our goods and services, our food, our gas, energy has also increased. And what's happening is that there are a lot of people that are losing money. We're spending so much. It costs a lot more to live now. The money that we're getting an extra in income is being taken away, which is why I preach to people, focusing just on income alone is not going to help you in your financial walk. You need to focus on building up your net worth. And as you see, a lot of people are losing net worth right now, but just as fast as you lose it, you can build it back up. It all starts with understanding finance and getting a head start and building that foundation. So let's go. So these are some goals that a lot of Americans are working on. So if you feel like, oh man, I'm struggling, you're not alone. This was a study just recently released in MarketWatch. It's a financial website resource that I read from time, well, every day actually, articles on it. But they did a survey with a couple of Americans. I can't remember exactly how many Americans was in this survey, but out of those Americans, they're starting to see that personal finance is something that everyone has to start taking advantage of. They have to start getting into their finances, understanding it, and really taking action and accountability. So as you see, 57% of the Americans that were surveyed in this survey say that they're working on saving more money. Some are working on tracking their spending, reducing spending over the board, cutting spending on non-essential items. So you see, people are starting to understand how finances work, and they're starting to take action. And I'm so glad you're tapped in, because we're going to find 7 ways to help jumpstart your finances in 2023. So the first way that's not often spoke about too often is reducing your tax liability. I call it tying up any loose ends that you have. And by loose ends, I mean those retirement accounts that you have with your job, your 401k, your Roth IRA, your health spending account are great vehicles for you to start adding additional money in to help reduce your tax liability. So how that works is that if you let's say your tax liability is 70,000, and let's say for sake you contribute almost the maximum 401k, you contribute 20,000 for the year, you are now taxed on 50,000. So that's what I mean by reducing your tax liability. So the good news is, I know you're like, Shakira, we're in 2023, how is this going to help me? The thing is that with retirement accounts, you have up until April 18th of 2023 of this year to contribute to those accounts, and it would count to the 2022 taxes. So if you're listening to this and you have a 401k, an IRA, even if you have a HSA, which is a health savings account plan, you may want to put a little bit of extra money in it, and you have up until April 18th, but don't wait till April 18th, do a little bit earlier. And before you file your taxes, to tie up those loose ends and help to reduce your tax liability, giving you a jump start on your finances in 2023. The second way that you can jumpstart your finances is to create a budget. And not just any budget. You're going to create a foolproof budget that's showing you exactly what's coming in your house, and more importantly, what's going out. And once you have this budget created, now you're going to work on a spending plan. And this is going to be key, because what happens to most people is they do not think further ahead of expenses that they may have. And they get up to the point when something is due, or they want to go somewhere, and they're like, I don't have any money put aside. Now I have to turn to the credit cards, I have to dip into my savings, or I have to just struggle. No more of that in 2023. We're creating solid budgets, and I'm going to tell you how you're going to create this budget. You're going to spend one day, a couple of hours. You're going to take your credit card statements. You're going to take your bank statements. You're going to take 2 highlighters, different colors, of course. And you're going to go through those statements, highlighting what you're spending what your needs are, what your wants are. And you're going to put them on an Excel spreadsheet or Google spreadsheet, whichever one is easier for you to manage. And you're going to write out what are the necessities, what are things that you have to have, and how much you pay each month for those, and then the wants. And what you're going to do is, from then you're going to find ways to try to put money aside for your spending plan. You're going to have a bucket for your vacation, for your hanging out, for your trips, for anything you want to do. The goal is for you to start thinking forward ahead, and you use your information that you have, your data that you have, to help you create that spending plan so that you are ahead of your finances in 2023. Let me tell you something. This works wonders. Knowing what's coming up helps you with your spending at that moment. So don't skip out on this. This is crucial and important in getting your jumpstart in your finances in 2023. The third thing you want to do is you want to get strategic. Yes, strategic when it comes to paying down your debt. Now, for many people, you may have went shopping this Christmas. You may have spent a little bit over. It happens. I'm not going to, throw too much shade at you. It happens. But what are you going to do about it right now? So you want to start looking at ways to pay down your debt. Two most popular methods that are out there is the snowball method and then the avalanche method. And from personal experience, I've used both methods and they both work just fine. You just got to make sure they work for what you're doing. So the avalanche method is mainly used when you have high interest debt, like those credit cards. Those credit cards, you want to target the ones with the high interest, pay those off first because what's happening is high interest is costing you more money. So you want to make sure that when you're doing your credit cards, you're paying attention to the APR rates to look and see what is the most expensive one and how you can pay that down first. The snowball effect is a little bit different. The snowball effect looks at all your debts and it takes the smallest amount, the one with the smallest amount, and you throw extra money to that, and then you roll over into each one. Now, as you know, if you follow me on social media, I've shared my story about how when I graduated with my bachelor's, I have $49,000 in student loan debt. I am down to $3,500 right now, which I'm extremely proud of. But I done it. I was able to accomplish that by using a strategy. So you want to look at these strategies, look at which one's going to work best for you. Now, I always tell people get with the program with Excel spreadsheets because they work wonders. They put everything in order so you know what you have to pay, when it's due, and how much the interest is, and yada, yada, yada. So get strategic if you have debt. Start to write out what you owe. Don't be ashamed if you max out your credit cards. Don't be ashamed if you went a little bit too over your budget. Now is the time for you to get that under control so that you can make 2023 the best year possible. Now let's move to the fourth way to jumpstart your finances in 2023. That is to start a savings plan, or if you already have one, to continue to contribute to it. Now, one of the biggest hacks that I tell clients that I work with is when it comes to savings, you have to pay yourself first. Yeah, you have to pay yourself first. Do not say, oh, I'm going to pay bills and then whatever I have left over, I'm going to throw it to that savings account. No, you put money into your savings account first. Now, how do you figure out how much you could afford? You go back to that budget. The budget is going to teach you how much you can afford to allocate each paycheck because you want to be consistent with it. You don't want to give 10% this paycheck and then 3% the next and then 1%. You want to be consistent. So if you can only give 5%, you just give 5%. Don't overexert yourself where you get discouraged from saving, but find a number that is a happy medium for you that you can put in consistently. Remember that compound, it grows and it will grow, and you'll start to see the results after it's a while. Now, another hack you can do is most people, the whole thought of taking money out the bank, going to another bank, putting it in, sometimes it never happens. We're going to be honest with ourselves, which is why you can have your savings automatically deducted from your paycheck, just like you do your paycheck, and have it directly deposited into your account. Now, the account that I recommend for people to use when it comes to savings are high yield interest, high yield savings accounts. And these are golden goose because the interest rates are normally higher than your traditional savings bank. And right now with the Fed hike rates, one of the pluses of that is your high yield savings accounts are at 3% APY. So you want to take advantage of that. Create your savings plan, add to your savings plan. And if you're asking what is a great amount for you to have, normally people say 3 to 6 months, but I'm going to go say 6 months. And for some, 6 months might not be an easy task, especially if you're just starting out. But again, if you just focus on the end goal and start putting money away, when you get extra money, you put it inside, you consistently have deducted from your checking, your payroll, and add it to this account, you will start to see it adds up pretty quickly. Like my dad always says, dollars add up. So you might just start somewhere and get it rolling. The fifth way you can utilize to help jumpstart your finances in 2023 is to learn a new skill. Now, I know you're like, well, what is it got to do with finances? It has everything to do with finances. Learning a new skill is going to put you at an advantage. In case your job wants to downsize, in case you need to find a new job, learn a new skill. Research skills are in high demand right now, and take the time to study and perfect your craft and learn a new skill. With that new skill, you can roll over to the 6 ways to jumpstart your finances with either starting a home business or your own business or picking up a side gig. You know what most people don't understand is that sometimes when you go through your budget, you may find you have a hole and you need to add a little bit more income. So it's definitely okay if you need to, for 6 months, pick up a side job, start a side gig, start a new business. Just understand that you want to bring in income as you each year you want to bring in more income. So learning that new skill is going to help you get there. Starting a business or getting a side gig is definitely a great way to jumpstart your finances in 2023. The last way, number 7, is to change your mindset. Now, I know this should have been number 1, but I wanted to leave this with you because I feel like this is going to be a lasting impression on you. Oftentimes, we suffer with this scarcity mindset, and I was one that suffered with it, and it's something I still work on each and every day of myself, where we have this poverty mindset where we feel like we've never had it before, or we don't want too much of this, or we'll be fine with just this little bit here and there. But changing your mindset is going to be a game changer for you in 2023 to helping you build that legacy, that cushion, that capital that you need to take your family to the next level. This is key. Your mindset is number one, but I put it last because it's something that you need to work on repeatedly every day. Understanding your mindset, understanding your wealth, understanding that you have the ability to build wealth, to build a legacy, to leave an inheritance for your family. So I hope you enjoyed today's webinar of the 7 ways that you can start now to jumpstart your finances in 2023. Remember, personal finance is not hard. The hardest part about it is executing. The goal is you want to focus on producing, to creating or generating more assets. And you do that by understanding your financial foundation, understanding your budget, paying off your debt, understanding how money works is going to save you in the long run. So this is your girl, Sam. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're not following me on Instagram, you can go ahead. I am Sam_18. Subscribe to if you're watching from a different platform, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wealth Talks with Sam. And if you need to work with me, you have any questions on finances, or any questions on insurance, you can shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to help you. Everyone have a great night and thank you so much for tapping in.